Hello, welcome to everyone who's joining us. This is the first of the laws of Purim for 5782. We started learning last year. So last year we talked about a lot of the mitzvahs that we do on Purim, sending mishloach manos, giving tzedakah, matanos lavyonim, and the like. So if you are interested in learning those halachas, you could listen to the shiurim from last year. This year we will be studying the laws of reading the Megillah. And we're going to be using the Mishnah Berurah. And we're going to start with Tuf Reish Pei Tes, which is Siman 689. We're going to start from the beginning. So they have a Hebrew-English Mishnah Berurah. If you're interested in getting one, I can tell you where you can get one of those. Or if you just want to listen or follow along, it is up to you. And each class will be between about 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and I'll send it out a couple times a week. And hopefully we'll learn a lot about Purim before it happens. So let's begin. Tuf Reish Pei Tes. Hakol Chayavin B'Kriyasa. Everyone is required to read the Megillah. Anashim v'nashim v'gerim v'avadim mishuchrarim. Men, women, converts, and freed slaves. Back in the day, we had slavery. We had more like an indentured servitude, and the slave had a quasi-Jewish status. So here we're saying that freed slaves have to hear the Megillah, because when a slave would become free, they would take on the full status of a Jew. Umechanchim es haktanim likrosa, and you have to teach children how to read the Megillah. So we find there's a mitzvah on a parent to teach his child mitzvahs. So we have here too, there's a mitzvah to teach the child how to read the Megillah. Okay, let's read the Mishnah Berurah on that. V'nashim. So ve'afta hakriya hi davar shezman grama mikol makam chayavos. So usually women are exempt from time-bound commandments. Anything that has to do with time, any mitzvah that has to do with time, specifically women are exempt. So here, Megillah, the Mishnah Berurah is discussing why are women required to listen to the Megillah? Why is that different than other time-bound mitzvahs? The reason Megillah is time-bound because it only happens once a year. So she'af hein hayaba'osones. The reason is because women were also included in the miracle. Haman came to try to destroy the entire Jewish people. The Metchila haisa hagzeira gam aleim. The gezerah was on the women also. Kedechsiv b'kra, like it says in the verse. Ulechein. So a man has to read the Megillah for women, the unmarried women, and I guess those that help them in the house. And in some places, some places the women go to synagogue to listen to the Megillah. But the Mishnah Berurah says he doesn't understand how women fulfill their obligation when they go to shul and sit in the Ezras Nashim because they can't hear the Megillah properly. So the law of the Megillah is that you have to hear and you have to listen to the words being said, to all the words being said. And especially those European shuls, the Ezras Nashim, the women's section was usually on a balcony and was very high up, so it's very difficult. I imagine what the Mishnah Berurah is saying, it was very difficult for women to hear all the words in the Megillah. So what the men would do, the men would read the Megillah after for the women. That's usually now what we have in synagogue. Usually you have men and you have the women's section. I guess especially our synagogues here in Manalp, and the women are not so far back that they can hear. And also for the women that are maybe busy at home, have to watch the children, then use usually a second Megillah reading for them if they can't make it to synagogue. So we really do both things nowadays. Mishuchrarim, we said freed slaves have to listen to the Megillah. But a real slave who's not yet free does not have to listen to the Megillah. And some say that even non-freed slaves have to listen to the Megillah. We teach children to read the Megillah. A child who got to the age of chinuch, the age where one is required to teach them. So that could be around 5 or 6, maybe a little younger, depending on the child. Right? You don't have to teach a 2-year-old how to listen to the Megillah because they're not going to understand what you're saying. There's only a mitzvah to teach children when they are able to understand to some degree that mitzvah. Since Okay, v'ayin lekamon b'sif vav. Look later in Sif Vav. He says that since women are required to listen to Megillah, also obviously there is a mitzvah to teach girls how to read the Megillah, also to teach young ladies how to read the Megillah, because women are required in this mitzvah. Okay, and that was Sif Aleph. We talked a little bit about who is required to listen to the Megillah, who is everyone, and we will continue with the laws of reading the Megillah next time. And thank you for everyone who is joining us.